Hey guys, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. So I'm very excited about today's video because it is going to be a month-long collaboration with one of my favorite YouTube friends, and that is Vanessa from Lemonade Mom. So I emailed her last month and I said, I'd really like to do a pantry and freezer challenge in the month of April. Would you like to collaborate with me? And she said yes. And I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I have several freezers. I have my freezer here in the kitchen. I also have a refrigerator and freezer in the garage. And then we have a deep freezer in the garage as well. And I have a pantry, which I'll show you here in a second. But basically the intent, for me at least, of this challenge is to really create my meal plans in the month of April around what I already have in the house. I know that there are a lot of YouTubers who do like more extreme pantry challenges where they're like literally trying to spend $50 a week on groceries and really being super duper careful. And while my intent is to save some money and use up what I have, I don't think I'm gonna be super intense about it. When I actually told my husband about it, he's like, listen, I'm not eating lemon curd and Ritz crackers every day for a month. And I'm like, don't worry, you're not gonna be doing that. But I do wanna be really cognizant about what I'm buying and really cognizant of making my meal plans for the week based around what I have already in the house. So back to Vanessa. If you are not familiar with her channel, you should be. She's been here on YouTube for many years. She actually has two channels. Her main channel is Lemonade Mom, and her vlog channel is, I believe, Lemonade Mom Vlogs. So I'll have both linked down below. If you're new to my channel and you're coming over from Vanessa's, hi, my name is Jen. I'm a working mom who likes to post all kinds of videos. Most of my content is centered around food and meal prepping, but I also post day in the life vlogs, and so I'd love to have you subscribe if you're new. So with all of that being said, what I plan to do today was go through all of my freezers and my pantry and sort of make a list of possible meal ideas that I can make. So how I'm going to approach this is not by really inventorying exactly the items that I have in my freezer and pantry, rather writing down meal ideas off of what I can make with what's in there, if that makes sense. It'll make sense here in a little bit, but that's sort of how I think about it. Now, if you want to do your own challenge and write down exactly all the things you have, that's great too. However you want to do it is totally fine. So let me take you to the pantry first. So here's just a little look at my pantry. We do have a walk-in pantry. I would say it's probably a moderate sized, although some people say that it's really big, but I think it does look a lot bigger too because we have 9-foot ceilings on our main floor, and so obviously we have more storage there up top. There's not really a lot of food storage up top. It's mostly just sort of kitchen supplies and that kind of thing. But really what I'm going to do is go through here and sort of either jot down things that I have, like the dried pasta, or jot down meal ideas that I can make off of things that are already in here. So that way I sort of have a roadmap of where I'm gonna go during the month. So let me just show you my meal planner really quick. So I use a Carrie L meal planner, and I'll leave a link to her site in the description box below. This is one of the mini meal planners, and so it's a little bit smaller than the traditional like 8.5 by 11 size, but there are some sections in here for freezer and pantry inventory. Now these sheets are more meant for writing down the item and when you froze it. I really don't use them for that. And then the pantry, has the expiration date. Basically, I'm just going to take inventory of the things I have in my freezer and the things I have in my pantry and just write down some meal ideas about what I can make based on that. So let me go to the pantry and I'll write some stuff down. I'll come back here and tell you what I came up with, and then I will do the freezers next. So I'm actually really shocked with the number of meal ideas that I came up with just by going through my pantry. Just by going through what was in my pantry, I came up with 18 meal ideas and 2 breakfast/dessert ideas. This is crazy. Like, I wish I would have done this sooner or more often because This is really like giving me dinner inspiration. I talked last week in my grocery haul about how I just didn't know what to make. I was so uninspired, etc. This really gave me a boost in that department. So the first idea so what I'm going to do is just kind of show you what inspired what meals. So the first thing that I came up with was these baked tacos with crispy shells. So I have this partial box of Trader Joe's crispy taco shells, and I also had a package of Taco Bell original seasoning mix. And so I thought that I could do those ground beef baked tacos where you like fill them up with the beef and the cheese and bake them in the oven. So we can use that for a dinner idea. I also have chicken breasts with seasoning wraps. I have these seasoning wraps that I got a couple of grocery trips ago. These are really good. They're by Stouffer's, so I can use those with some chicken breast. I also thought I could do lasagna soup because I have this box of mini lasagna just wanting to be used. So I do use Skinny Taste recipe for lasagna soup. So if you just Google Skinny Taste lasagna soup, you'll find her recipe. Chili dogs. So I found a container or a can of Hormel chili. This is not fancy, but this is actually what my husband prefers for chili dogs. So that's something I could make one night. Also green chili enchiladas with chicken. I found 2 cans of green chili enchilada sauce. I make my chicken enchiladas with green chili sauce and corn tortillas. Super delicious. The next thing that I thought of was tater tot casserole. Now when you see my freezer, you'll see that I have a ton of ground beef, and I do make my tater tot casserole with cream of chicken soup. So I use cream of chicken, ground beef, frozen mixed vegetables, and then American cheese and tater tots on the top. So when I saw this, that made me think of tater tot casserole. I also have a ton of stuff that I could use for chili. So I have a bunch of cans of tomatoes and beans, so we can make beef chili in the Instant Pot. I actually have a video on that on my channel. I can link down below. So tomato soup and grilled cheese. I actually found 3 cans of Campbell's tomato soup, so that would be good for a quick dinner some night. I wrote down tuna salad for lunches. I wish that my family would eat like tuna melts or, you know, tuna casserole and stuff like that, but they just don't. My kids will sometimes eat a tuna salad sandwich, but it's super hit and miss. So this is usually something that I just buy for myself and make a lunch prep. So I thought that if I did meal prep, I could do the tuna salad for that. I have written down curry with rice. I do have a really good curry recipe I can link down below, but I found a can of coconut milk as well as 2 boxes of boil in the bag rice. One's white rice and the other is jasmine. So have some of the components for that. Greek orzo salad, that was inspired by this box of orzo that I found in the pantry. I did, I think, do a meal prep on that a while back, but I'll link the recipe down below. They're like Greek orzo salads in a jar. They're really, really good. That would most likely be for a lunch prep video too. I have written down chicken Alfredo because I found a can of Classico 4-cheese Alfredo sauce. The kids love that. I have written down crockpot green salsa chicken. So I actually bought this a while ago and I don't even remember now what I bought it for, but this is really good if you put it over chicken breast and put it in the crock pot and cook it all day. You can shred the chicken and either make enchiladas out of it, or you can use it for chicken tacos or burrito bowls. So that will be a good use for that. I have written down crock pot barbecue pork. So when we were in Kansas City last time, we picked up a bottle of this Boulevard Kansas City Pilsner barbecue sauce, and I thought that would be fun to pour over a pork roast in the crock pot and make that for dinner one night. Okay, ham noodle casserole. So this is kind of an old family recipe, but I found half a bag of wide egg noodles, and what I do for this casserole is I make a white sauce just with milk, and then I put Velveeta cheese in it, so you make your own cheese sauce. And then you mix cooked egg noodles with that and diced ham and then bake it in the oven. It's like pure comfort food. It's not super healthy, but it just reminds me of being a kid, and I probably only make it like once a year, but that's something that I can make with that. Okay, goulash I have written down because I did find a box of elbow macaroni also in the pantry. I use Paula Deen's recipe for goulash and I really, really like it, so I can link that down below as well. Stuffed shells. So I do have a stuffed shell recipe that I want to try. It's actually a Pioneer Woman recipe, and it's shrimp scampi stuffed shells. It sounds really good. I would think that my kids would eat it because they will eat shrimp on occasion, but that would be something that I can make with those. I also have written down shrimp and baked potatoes because I actually found 2 jars of cocktail sauce in the pantry. I don't know how I got that. But so I have this 1 jar of cocktail sauce here, and then a bag of potatoes. So one easy dinner could just be to buy a box of like the frozen butterfly shrimp. I could do those in the air fryer and then serve them up with the cocktail sauce and some baked potatoes. Okay, and then I have gingerbread cake and oatmeal muffins. So I did find, well, I'll show you that in a minute because I didn't bring it out here, but I have almost a full container of old-fashioned oats, and I know that there are some like breakfast muffin recipes that you can make with oatmeal, and so I'll have to do some research on that. But we're not really big oatmeal fans just as is. I usually just use it for baking, so I'll have to research some recipes, but I could also make you know, oatmeal chocolate chip cookies out of those. And then this box of gingerbread cake, it's actually set to expire in the middle of April, so I need to get that used up. I got this at Trader Joe's last Christmas. It was a sample, but that's something that I could make for a dessert on the weekend. So super excited with the amount of meal ideas that I came up with just by doing this. So now I'm going to move outside to the freezer. All right, so we're out here in my super fancy garage, but here is, we call it our beer fridge because mostly we just keep beer and drinks in the fridge part, but I do have food in the freezer. And then this is our deep freeze that we mostly just keep our beef in. So I think I've talked about this before on my channel, but every year, usually we get half a beef. So that includes like chuck roasts, sirloins, you know, T-bones, ribeyes, and a bunch of ground beef. And it usually lasts us through the whole year, and then we don't have to buy beef at the grocery store. We know that the animals are humanely treated and the meat just tastes so much better. So we actually do it through someone that my husband works with. So if that's available in your area, I would totally recommend it. But that's mostly what is in this particular freezer. We just got it a couple months ago, and so it's still pretty full. But you can see here that basically the whole bottom is filled with the 1 pound ground beef rolls. So I don't necessarily have to inventory these because I know at this time that I basically have all the ground beef I could ever want to use. But like I do have steaks, and I have sirloin steaks. I have a bag of chicken breasts. I do have some tamales from when I made those over Christmas break. I do have some chicken nuggets for the kids. A rump roast. I think I have some chicken broth down in here, but I have actually planned to use that for a recipe this week, so I'll take that out. Yeah, and then just lots more roasts and steaks. So definitely I do have, you know, the potential to think up of a lot of meals that I could use beef for, whether it's ground beef or sirloin steak or roasts. So I'll have to think about that. Maybe I'll look on Pinterest for some recipe ideas. We could definitely have these tamales one night for dinner. Kira actually really loves tamales. So that's the deep freeze. And then in this freezer, I don't have a ton of stuff. You can see that I do have some frozen ravioli up here. That would actually go good with that Alfredo sauce that I found in the pantry. I have some bacon. I have some frozen meatballs with marinara. I have some rice to use up. There's some random butter in here. I have some garlic sticks back there, garlic breadsticks, ice cream. I have a bag of sweet corn. I have these tandoori naan that I got from Trader Joe's, so I'll have to think up of something with that. I have a package of hamburger buns. I do have a container of frozen shredded corned beef that we made for St. Patrick's Day and didn't eat it all. So I don't know what's wrong with that. So this ice maker doesn't work, by the way. So that's something that I could use up. And then this is basically my bin for all of my veggie and meat scraps. So I make my own homemade stock. Like when we trim the bones off of our beef, we save them. And then I save veggie scraps like celery and carrots and stuff. So that's where all that stuff is. That's not something that I would necessarily plan a meal off of. I usually just make the stock when I do my meal prep, and then I have it in the freezer. I have 1/2 loaf of garlic bread. I also have some of these Stonefire naan breads that I got from Costco. So those are frozen. I have 2 big racks of ribs. So that's something that I'll probably write down that Adam could do on the smoker. And then down here is my salmon. So I do like to get my salmon from Costco, and then I portion it out and vacuum seal it. I do have a vacuum sealer. I can link the one I have down below. I really like it. So I have 3 packages of salmon. I have some chicken breast. I didn't even know that was in there. So look at that. So yeah, so I do have quite a bit of things to work with. So let me try and figure out what I want to cook out of these items, and then I'll be back. And I totally forgot that I have another freezer inside. So this one is basically filled with, the top is filled with roasts also. I have some enchilada sauce there that I didn't use all of. I don't know that there would be a ton of meal ideas with what's in here. Normally what I keep in the inside freezer are things that I have to use frequently, or like not necessarily full meals, but like, you know, freezer meals and like frozen pizza and that kind of stuff. But I'll look through here too and include it if there's anything that inspires me. All right, so here we go. This is what I thought of after looking at what was in all of my freezers. One other thing I wanted to mention that I thought of was this corn casserole. So I do have some cream corn and regular corn, and I think some cornbread mix maybe in my pantry. Do you guys know that corn casserole that you can make with like corn and Jiffy mix and sour cream and bake it? We always like make it for Thanksgiving and stuff, but it's just something I never really think of to make, you know, during the weeknights. So that's potentially something I can make for a side. Okay, so I just decided to use the page that was opposite my pantry inventory for the freezer inventory. So these are the ideas that I came up with. So I showed you guys I have the frozen tamales. I actually found another package of those in the freezer in here. Some green chili and cheese ones, so we could have that for a meal. I also found a bag of cauliflower gnocchi from Trader Joe's. That's something that I could saute up as a side and add a little bit of marinara sauce. That would be good. I found that shamrock ravioli, so that is something that we could have for dinner. My kids really like Alfredo with their ravioli, so that's something that I can consider as well, along with maybe having it with that chicken breast with the seasoning wraps that I was talking about. Meatball subs, I found some meatballs and marinara in there, so that's something we could make. I also have those naan breads, and there was a recipe on Home Chef. There was a recipe on Home Chef for cheeseburger flatbreads. I don't know that my kids would eat that, but they would definitely eat pepperoni ones. So that's, I think, what I want to make with those Stonefire flatbreads or naan breads, whatever they're called. One other thing that I haven't made in a long time is salmon burgers. I actually use the Skinny Taste recipe, so that's something that I could meal prep for myself to have during the week. I could do baked salmon for the kids. Maybe I'll do that when we have that shrimp and baked potatoes, since they're not huge fans of shrimp. Those ribs, Adam could do smoked ribs. And then I have made before Reuben dip, so that's something that I could make with that leftover corned beef that we have in the freezer. I can't remember what's all in it, but I think it's like corned beef, sauerkraut, Swiss cheese, Thousand Island dressing, and then you like bake it in the oven and eat it with rye bread. Oh my God, it's so good. And then I have a package of buns, so I could also do cheeseburgers. And then I just noted down here that I have chuck roast, ground beef, and sirloin steak in the freezer too. So I got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 meals over here. So 8 and 18. So I have almost, 26 meals that I got out of just looking at my fridge and pantry. So I'm pretty excited by this. I don't know, I just think it's a good exercise in using what you have. Okay, so that is gonna end it for today's video, but hopefully this got you inspired to look in your own freezer and pantry and sort of plan your meals around what you already have. If you guys are doing this challenge along with me and Vanessa, let me know in the comments below. I think, like I said, it is a great exercise in using what you have, and it gives you a lot of great meal inspiration. Don't forget to check out Vanessa's video today. She'll be posting a similar video on her channel, which I'll link down below. And every Saturday in the month of April, we will be posting our grocery hauls and meal plans for the week, using up what we have in our freezer and pantry. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.